Hello, I'm Brian Gorman, and I want to welcome you to this lesson of the 10 most important lessons that I have learned in 50 years of engaging with change. At one level, today's lesson is very simple. All change is personal. That's it. All change is personal. While change happens at the personal level, at the organizational level, at the social level, societies don't change. Organizations don't change unless people change. So all change is personal. At the personal level, we have psychologists and therapists and mediators and religious counselors and spiritual guides and so forth, and hopefully coaches. Hopefully each of those practitioners doesn't lose sight of the fact that all change is personal. At the organizational level, we have change management practitioners, we have organizational development professionals, we have industrial psychologists, we have project managers and more who are intended to guide organizations successfully through change. The best of those are using methodologies that are based on the principles of the psychology of people going through change. But at some point, most if not all, lose sight of the people. They become stakeholders, they become job titles, they become union members, they become geographies or divisions or silos. At the social level, we have community organizers, we have political organizers, and again, all too often people become blocks of constituents, they become districts, they become economic statistics. They lose sight of the fact that all change is personal. So what I'd like to do today is just give you two examples from my own experience of how large-scale change can be executed around the principle that all change is personal. And then give you a few tips on how you might bring that back into your own work if you're working beyond the individual change practitioner level. The first actually comes from my time as a drill sergeant in the Air Force. I received my draft notice while in grad school in the fall of 1971 and went into the Air Force in January of 1972. I ended up spending pretty much my entire career of 4 years as a drill sergeant. Our job, quite simply at one level, was to take 48 disparate individuals and over the course of 6 weeks, turn them into a highly functioning organization. People don't think about basic training as individual training, but it is. You have 48 different people coming from 48 different backgrounds and experiences, all having to travel from who they are to their roles on that team. I don't know what basic training is like today, but I know in my time, a lot of training instructors didn't apply an all changes personal rule to how they approached it. I did. And here's just one story of many that I could tell. Very shortly after I became a training instructor, this incident occurred. As soon as people arrive, as soon as the trainees arrive, you start looking for those who are more mature, who are showing characteristics of potentially being leaders, and you assign them at least temporarily different leadership roles. So we had assigned this one young minority from the Bronx to the temporary role of squad leader. And one evening, a couple of days into training, he came into the office. I was there. And he said, "Sir, Airman so-and-so won't take orders from me. He won't do anything I tell him to do. I've asked, I've insisted, I've tried a number of different ways, and he just isn't listening. So I called Airman so-and-so into the office after his interim squad leader left. And I said, I hear you're not taking orders from your squad leader. Why? And his response was, I don't work for those people, expletive deleted. They work for me. I asked him to explain. He said, it's this way, Airman Gorman. When I get up in the morning, my bath has been drawn. When I get out of the bath, my breakfast is set on the table in my bedroom. My bed has been made. My clothes are laid out. I don't work for those people. They work for me. Well, to make a long story short, the interim squad leader became the dorm chief, and Airman so-and-so became a squad leader. And he learned to work for that minority dorm chief, and they became good friends. They had to travel very different paths to get to that successful journey, but in their own way, they each had leadership characteristics. They each had a commitment to succeed. And in working with that, we were able to turn things around. One more example of how all change is personal. Major bank doing a transformational reorganization, really. Restructuring, new processes, new policies, new ways of operating. Typically, you know what that would look like. It'd be very difficult, be highly disruptive, a lot of the best people, the people most able to make the change leaving, probably a lot of miscommunication, a lot of misalignment, so forth and so on. A major struggle. This bank decided to take a different route. When they announced the transformation, this is basically the message they sent out. We are closing the old bank. We are opening a new bank. Every employee in good standing in the old bank is eligible for a job in the new bank. No employee in the old bank is totally prepared for the new job that they will have. We will be distributing job descriptions of the new jobs that are available to you, and we will be distributing worksheets. If you want a job in the new bank, you can apply for it. You'll be brought in for an interview, and when you come in for your interview, bring the worksheet that tells us what we need to do to help prepare you for success in your new position. What a difference that approach makes. Every employee knows their future is in their hands. They can decide to stay or they can decide to leave. They don't have to wait to see if the axe is going to fall. Every employee hears that they don't know everything they need to know for the new job. And what can we do to help you succeed in that job? Their employer is there to help them be successful. All change is personal. A very different approach to executing transformational change. If you're working, especially with younger generations, how do you make change personal for them? Every manager should know why every one of their employees is coming to work in the morning. What is it that they are seeking to achieve in their jobs? How do we align that with the work that they're doing and the changes we're making in the organization? What incents them to come to work? What incents them to do a good job? It's not the money. More and more among the younger generations, it's not the money. How do we change our organizational policies and procedures to deliver the incentives that we need to build employee loyalty and commitment to the success of the organization? All change is personal. Keep that in mind. Help the leaders of your organization and the managers understand that, and help them bring the persons in the organizations successfully through the change. I'm Brian Gorman at Transforming Livestock Thank you for joining me for this change lesson, and I hope you join me for the others as well.